First off, thank you, Levi, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
If you could just state your name and the band you're in.
What's up, Levi from Miss May I?
Appreciate that so much. We go way back.
Yes.
You know, back in, I used to be in a band, Ocean Grid, doing my thing. You actually came to one of our shows. It was a super cool experience. And at that point forward, at the time, I was shaky on our name at the time, and I was like, oh, well, he came, so I guess that's the name. And that's how it kind of is.
Still Andrew Ocean Grid in my phone.
Oh, am I? That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, so kind of it's full circle now, doing some interviews, trying to like cover some artists of all kinds, and just giving an artist a chance to talk about things a little outside of the music.
Yeah.
Is kind of the point. First off, Madison Theater.
Yep.
First time performing here?
Yes, first time playing here tonight, yeah.
What's your experience like so far up until now? Like float in, the staff, what's your experience like so far? Has it been good, bad?
It's been awesome. We rehearsed here. So we've been rehearsing here a couple times before tours. And then that's what sort of gave us the idea of like, maybe we move our hometown show here. Because we used to do the hometown show up in Dayton. So we wanted to relocate. And yeah, we love the staff and the theater. And I've been to a couple shows here. And yeah, we've never come through here on tour. So I thought it'd be cool to mix it up.
And Dayton is where the band formed.
Yeah.
But you consider this a hometown show because of the region?
Yeah, because the region, and it's as close as we can really get with to Dayton. Because a lot of the Dayton venues are gone. So it's either, and the other reason we picked this was it's the last like locally owned venue. It's not like going to a name brand venue, which we love as well. We go to those on tour. But since this is hometown, we wanted to sort of mesh the two.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that's awesome that you're going for a hometown like venue that's owned by, you know, the people that are on the ground doing the work rather than some other city and just managing it from a distance. You know what I mean? Which is really cool and much appreciated. I've been at Madison Theater. I was an intern here.
Oh, that's cool.
So since 2013, I've been doing my thing here. I've been here for a while. Yeah. Now I'm doing Beyond the Stage, which is an interview series where I just kind of like covering artists. And they're very fortunate that they're like, hey, do whatever you want. Like, we love that you're getting that promotion. And I was like, awesome. Gonna reach out to Levi. And then we talked at my store, talked to Levi, and now we're here. So you're currently on tour. How long have you been on tour so far with this specific one?
This tour, it's just over a month. I think it's like a month and 2 days. It's like, 33 days.
And what is this tour called?
The Apologies for the Week anniversary tour.
Anniversary tour.
Yeah.
What year anniversary?
15 years.
15-year anniversary.
Yeah.
That is a long time. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's very cool though.
Yeah.
15 years of anything is impressive.
I know, it's nuts. Yeah.
To be in a touring active band is quite a challenge, especially with the pandemic and everything going on with that, where we're still seeing some, I guess, overflow into when we were all staying home. Any challenges that you all have with the pandemic and being a band and maintaining it, whether it's practicing, rehearsal, or even just booking the dates based on regulations and stuff like that?
Yeah, the pandemic definitely rocked us. It's sort of the reason why we changed the lineup for the first time, and Justin and BJ aren't in the band now, because they sort of just post-pandemic wanted to change things up. And I think through the pandemic, we didn't really know what was going to happen, just like everybody else. Like, we toured for 9 months a year for a decade before the pandemic, and then it stopped.
All gone.
Yeah, and then we're like, this is all we know how to do. So it's like we sort of had to figure out stuff, and then some guys had just sort of changed them, and then also made us miss it a lot. And then we sort of appreciate it differently now. So like this it's our second headliner post-pandemic, but this is our first time really sort of approaching it differently. So like our set tonight is it's more about like the performance and theatrics than it is about a metal show. And I think that just comes with us like appreciating shows more than we used to. It's not like we're trying to go out there and make people beat the crap. We still want them to beat the crap out of each other. That's still a goal, but we want to like make it a memorable experience instead of. We felt like since we played so much, like we've done, I think 1,500 shows on tour, and I think people who see us, we would always bring cabs and lights, which is cool, but it was like sort of the same show. So that's why we started changing up for this one. So there's like little solo and pocket sections of theatrical stuff tonight. So I think every tour moving forward will be like that.
That is really cool. So
this has been exciting.
Expanding on what the band can do beyond just the music.
Yeah, and the new lineup helps with that too. Elijah, our new guitar player, he's a producer. So it really helped us a lot because he can bring a lot to the band in the show that we've never been able to do until now. So
wow, that the addition. I mean, it's rough losing members, but when you add someone that brings a new dynamic, that's making you even stronger in other areas that you may not have realized you could do before. So
for sure, and it worked out great because he was sort of like filling in and helping out while we were navigating around BJ and Justin. So he was taking their spot. So we sort of got like a trial run with him, and we've never, since we were 14, we've never played with a different lineup. So it was like, there's a new guitar player, how's it going to feel? And then it worked out great. So
since 14 years old.
Yeah, I know. This is my first band. So
that is. And how old are you now?
33.
33. So
I've been doing it longer than I haven't been doing it.
That is amazing.
It's weird. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's incredibly impressive. I mean, I do want to say though, you're a dad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about that. How is tour life with maintaining a family and fatherhood? How do you make that work? How do you manage that?
It's definitely crazy. I flew home twice for this tour. I flew home once for Trick or Treat. So like, it's just different. Days off are different. Like, if the girls can come out, I'll bring the wife and little kids out for the weekend. And then like core memory stuff, we sort of take off tour now. So like, we won't have shows on like the kids' birthdays or anything. We'll fly home, and because we want to make it work, but we also don't want to miss out on being dads. So that's also why we do one tour a year now, as opposed to like 6. We just do one US tour, and we're gonna do one international tour a year. But that just gets us like, it's definitely changed the landscape. But it's cool because the kids love it. Like, they come out on tour, they get in the bunks, they like understand what's going on, and they think it's so fun. Like, we keep them up late for the show, and it's awesome.
That's awesome. Coolest dad.
It's fun. It's cool. It's definitely surreal. Yeah. Well, it's crazy because like a lot of people, you just hear the narrative of like, you have to stop like when the kids come. Yeah. And we're like, that is really what like what's been told and what happens. And it's like, we just went back to the drawing board and made it work. We're like, if we're gonna keep doing this as a band, we have to also have our lives, and like, we don't want to miss out on life as well.
Sure, so, exactly.
Made it both work.
I was thinking the same thing. You don't want to miss out on life, but you also, like you said, this is what you know know how to do. This is what you've grown up doing since you were 14. So like, to change the whole dynamic of your life doesn't seem realistic, but you can blend it and make the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be a fulfilling feeling, because you're able to bring the little ones on and let them see how cool of the world that you step into every single night.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, how does it go with the significant others? Are they like, how supportive is things with JoJo, and like, how supportive is everything? They're
supportive. They definitely get rocked while we're gone.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say,
being solo with the kid is not the easiest time.
Yes, exactly.
So they definitely understand. Like, it's really cool for them to understand everything, and that's sort of why we do the not leave as much, because we know it's hard being solo with the little ones. But they don't want us to stop. We've spent so much work building Miss May I that they don't want us to stop it either. So, and we're waiting. Like, once the kids get older, like, everyone will probably say our schedule get bigger and bigger. Like, the older they get and the more it's easier to bring them, because right now we have like the potty train and the diapers, and it's like, you can't go number 2 on the bus, but you have to tell a 5-year-old she can't go number 2, but she gotta. And there's like all these confusing things where like, we'll grow into it and make it comfortable. So we're slowly getting into there. Getting integrated.
With Charlie, my daughter, it's the same thing. When I try to explain things to her that you can't do everything everywhere, I'm like, we need to watch this. We need to go to like different places, have different restrooms. We have to do this, and like, explaining that to a 5-year-old is right. Yeah. She's just like, I don't understand. I'm like, okay, well, just listen to Daddy. Just listen to Daddy, trust Daddy. But it's not only confusing for them, but they're also not fully grasping the gravity of what you're doing.
Yeah.
How do you show them that?
I think one day it'll just become pretty cool.
Regular?
Yeah, because she comes out on stage still. Like, I sort of don't want her to, because it's sort of not that we're like jaded or anything. Like, we just, to us too, it's just like something we do. It's like part of our life. I sort of hope it doesn't feel like that to her. I want her to just be like, this is just what we do. Like, that's why we wanted to keep doing it too, to show the kids like, hey, you guys can do crazy stuff. It doesn't have to be like the norm. Like, you can do something out of the box. That's the other thing we're hoping that teaches them, because we didn't stop. We like kept this going when they were born. So, but yeah, I hope it really never hits her. I hope she just is like, oh, that's what my dad does. Like, yeah.
That's That's how I feel with Charlie, with my store or my interviews or at Madison Theater. She comes through all the different environments I'm in, and she just thinks it's regular and it's normal, which I really appreciate her kind of going into the not making things not difficult per se, but she doesn't like feel uncomfortable. Yeah. You know what I mean? She comes into the environments that I'm in and she makes herself at home. All the staff here knows Charlie, and they say, "Hi, Charlie," and she walks by. She doesn't know really the gravity of where she's at either, that she can be there before doors open and be there. You know, she doesn't understand that, but she's making friends everywhere she goes, and it's amazing to watch. And we're just watching through, as dads, we're just watching through their little lens, and we're just enjoying the process. So while you're on tour, anything weird happen
on this one?
In general, any stories of like, not necessarily paranormal, but like maybe something that seems uncommon or weird that you're on the road? Anything ever happen that you're like, that was unexplainable?
We've had some weird stuff happen on tours. I can like go to my hard drive, did this.
Yeah.
I guess one, there's a lot of weird things, but one just a real strange one. We, I think it was 2014, we were on tour with Killswitch, and our bus, we were just driving like the desert, it was like West Coast, and we heard like a big snap in the front of the bus, and then we pulled off, and this is like 2 a.m, but this was like, I never like made the news or anything, but there was a guy like shooting at vehicles in the desert, like shooting at the highway, and he shot our bus, like, so, and we were just cruising. Thank God I didn't hit the driver, but we like, he pulled over and we all got out, and you just saw there's like a big bullet hole in the windshield, and it all like shattered, and like he was just shooting at the bus. Like, we're like, can you imagine what could have happened? Like, that was crazy. Yeah. So he was shooting at a bunch of traffic, like a bunch of cars were pulled over from bullet holes. He was just like, it was just a guy in the desert, like, and you could not find him. It's pitch black.
Right.
Who knows? He could be 100 miles away just shooting at light. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
It was crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So that was one. We have a lot of crazy things. That was a crazy one. And another crazy thing on that one was that bus we had was Destiny's Child's old bus. So it was bright purple and pink, and it had bright orange neon ostrich. It was so above and beyond what we needed. It was ridiculous. And everyone's like, what the hell is this bus? I'm like, hold on. No, we're a metal band. This is Beyonce's old bus, like Destiny's Child. So
that's really cool though.
It was cool. Yeah, it was just in the fleet. It was like so old that they just an old pink bus floating around.
Did it have all the amenities, all the stuff?
Oh yeah. I think they got rid of it. It burnt. It had a fire once, and then they got a new bus, and that one just sort of got put in the fleet.
Oh.
So, but they're the ones who built it. That's why it had all the like. It was very
custom,
bright and vibrant.
Vibrant.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
See it from a million miles away. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Driving down through Los Angeles and seeing this big bus.
Oh yeah, and it had like green flames on the side. It was crazy looking, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome. So you said crazy things happen on tour. Any interesting fan engagements?
Yeah.
Any super fans? Anything like that?
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool. This tour has really brought out a lot of cool fans for the anniversary, especially the anniversary for our first album, because it was such a big deal for a lot of people. One cool one. This isn't like a super crazy story. It really like shook me on this. Was this we have this song "Hey Mister" where we have like a bunch of stories. And we hear a lot of our songs are vague. We write them vague enough so people can sort of have their own narrative. So I will write a song about something, and I'll hear like 100 different reasons how it resonated with other people, and I'm like, that's not what it's about, but that's really cool.
Sure. Yeah.
And then the Hey Mister is pretty straightforward, so we hear a lot of those stories, but the one on this tour was really cool. It was a reverse to where it was a dad who listened to Hey Mister, and it made him rekindle his relationship with his son 7 years ago, and he's been sober and back with his son for 7 years because of that song. So it's from the dad's perspective, and we were all at the meet and greet like, wow, that's really cool. We've always heard it the other way, but not that way.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool fan engagement one.
That is cool.
Yeah. And then we see a lot of the lion tattoos. That's always really cool. We saw a few today in meet and greet, and those are always, it's surreal. It's almost like there's not a word big enough than, like, bigger than thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't just say thank you. I'm like, you got our, I'm like, we're not worthy.
Right.
Yeah. Like, it's really cool.
I can not on as many lines, but there are some actual ocean grid tattoos out there. Actually,
like, how do you say thank you to that?
I don't know how to say thank you. Yeah, when I saw my lyrics tattooed on someone's arm, I was like, wow, thank you. Yeah. Can I take a picture? I store all those photos back in the vault at this point, but when I saw it originally, I was like, because when we were regional local band, you know, for someone to get a tattoo of my lyrics on them is a big deal because you know what I mean? Like they really entrust me, you know, with my words. And I can only imagine how many lines you've seen, how many different tattoos are out there because Miss May I has made its way, you know, worldwide. And anytime I mention that, like we're friends and they're like, oh my favorite song. I need to talk to you about this. And it's really cool as a friend to see my friend going out there and crushing it and doing amazing things and inspiring so many people. Mm-hmm. So thank you for being a part of this. Has tour changed for you? Like you're on this tour now. Do you feel like tour is like you said, it feels like it's what you do, it's a regular thing, but do you feel like your average daily lifestyle is different than it once was, like in 2014, 2015?
Oh, for sure.
So 10 years now. Like, do you feel like your daily lifestyle in it rather than, because now I'm sure you have like the itinerary, you have to do different signings and whatever. Do you think that has changed in the last 10 years with the pandemic and just your experience in the decade? Because you're doing it 15 years now. So, so in the last 10 years, how do you feel that the tour experience has changed for you personally?
Well, I think on a personal level, the biggest thing has been like, well, we were just so young when we started. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like the appreciation was like sort of just over our heads because we were just kids and the shows were doing great. So we were like, just partying, being punk kids, you know, like being with your best buds.
Right.
So we didn't really, I didn't like look at monuments or museums or cool places we were at until like now on tour. It's like, oh, like this is actually a really cool place. So we appreciate this venue. Like, even though we've played that venue 15 times, we're just now like, wow, thank you guys for having us. That's like, because it's such a big deal for them to invite us. But like when we were kids, we're like, hell yeah, we got a 30-day tour. And we're just like, waking up late, getting there right in time, like just being punk kids, you know, just being hooligans. So I think that's what's really changed is like how serious and how much it means to us more than, not that it didn't mean a lot then, but it's like the perspective is just completely different because it is so special. And it's just like, I think we really needed the pandemic to sort of hit the brakes because we've never stopped since high school. So I think we need the pandemic to just really absorb what was happening and be like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool what we're doing. Because we pretty much would be on tour right after high school, and during the tour, you book the next tour, and then you go straight to that tour, and while that tour is happening, you book the next one. It was just literally like, we just toured nonstop. Come home for holidays, and that's about it. Or you'd be excited every 2 years because like, oh, we get to do an album, so we're off for a couple months. But then it's like, you're still working, you're still writing music. So it was just never any break. So we never really got to know what was happening because it was just so much noise to us. So when the pandemic happened, it was like everything stopped. You're like, wow, this is actually pretty cool.
Sit still for a long period of time. Yeah. The whole world was sitting still.
Yeah. And now like being at home and sort of being detached from music because I'm like doing dad mode and just enjoying home, I like sort of forget about it until I'm at the coffee shop or like a grocery store and someone's like, yo. And I'm like, what's up? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot we're in a band. I'm like, that's cool.
They're saying
like, that's cool. Yeah.
They're fans. I do actually have two more questions though. Favorite food on tour? Any restaurants that you may want to
Veggie Grill in the West Coast. Veggie Grill. It's like all of the West Coast. It's a fast food place that it's all vegan, but you would never know. It looks like you're at like a McDonald's. So you get like, and nothing says vegan on it. So you just go in there and everything's plant-based, but you can just like get milk. You can like go all out and it's all plant-based.
That's cool.
And there's a bunch of them. It's a chain, so they can do drive-through and
drive-through and everything.
Yeah, it literally feels like you're at McDonald's, but it's all plant-based.
Veggie Grill.
Yeah, it's the best. It'll never make it to the West Coast or East Coast and the Midwest, but it's great.
Maybe one day. Maybe
one day. But that's probably my favorite food.
Good to know. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
Buffalo Bomber. It's their buffalo chicken sandwich.
Oh. Yeah. And then one last question. Who, growing up when you were a young lad, who was your music positive influence?
My biggest influence was Bert from The Used.
Family member or friend. Like the encouraging.
My mom. She's a big metalhead. Yeah. She's way more metal and cool than I'll ever be. She like pits still in her 50s. She'll like
still.
Yeah, she goes to shows by herself. Like she'll go see Meshuggah or like man, she's literally so much cooler than I'll ever be. And I thought metal wasn't cool or black or skulls for like until like late in high school, because like my mom liked that my whole childhood, and you know, like you don't want to do the same thing as your parents. So whatever my mom was doing, like that's not cool. And then like it just hit one day. I'm like, oh, this is what she was trying to tell me. I'm like, this is freaking sweet.
It's so cool. Yeah.
So and it's cool now because like I get to sort of use my perks to help her fulfill some of her dreams. Like we'll play a festival. Like her favorite band's Megadeth, and we'll play a festival with Megadeth. I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna say hi, and so I get to meet them. She's like, that is crazy. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Just hang out.
That is awesome.
It's a cool full circle moment. Yeah.
That I love hearing that. So shout out to Mom.
Yeah, she's awesome. She'll be here tonight. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate you so much.
Dude, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Beyond the Stage with Levi Benton of Miss May I.
Exactly.
Hey, appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Beyond the Stage.